It's been really, really good. I'm going to wait and later today when everybody's in here acknowledge my volunteers, but seriously could not do this. I have done this actually without volunteers, and let me tell you, it is not as enjoyable. It is way easier when I have people that I know at any moment I can just say, "Hey, you over there," and it just gets done. It's amazing. So very grateful for Kenny back here, who everything I ask him, I kind of get the absolutely, and then he does it. So it's like, yay! He's been awesome.
In our communities really struggling after COVID, and so that was one of the reasons we launched some of the programs we launched was really to help minister to the people in our community who are on the front lines. And so that's you guys, our first responders, our police departments and fire departments and teachers and pastors. And how many people have you guys talked to who are like secretly considering retirement or have already retired after COVID? Just they didn't sign up for that. That was a lot.
Hi, my name is Wyatt, and I'm a Christian counselor in Kansas City. I want to tell you about how the Trauma Healing Center has been such a benefit to me this year. This was a big year for me. In the spring, I transitioned from working for a larger organization to being independent in private practice. And though, while I am sort of by myself in that practice, because the Trauma Healing Center, I'm not alone. It started with me being able to get some free trainings, which of course I really appreciated. The price tag, it's always great to be able to pick up those required CEU credits at no cost at all. But a bigger benefit than the trainings themselves was the community that I found myself being a part of. Not only were the staff at the Trauma Healing Center really supportive to me as I was kind of trying to figure out how do you do private practice and learning all of that on my own. But I was also able to meet lots of folks through these trainings. Folks I wouldn't have met, other counselors, other ministers. I wouldn't have had a way to meet them outside of these trainings. And these other relationships, these other counselors that I've met, have also kind of like expanded my community, my support system. I'm able to refer my clients out to some of these other counselors. I'm able to receive referrals from them. We're able to help each other through just email chains and asking each other for advice on maybe client stuff, but also kind of some of the more mundane administrative stuff that it means to be part of kind of the mental health world here in Kansas City. So I'm really grateful for the Trauma Healing Center. I'm grateful for their trainings, but also for creating a place to have community that caregivers don't often have in the city. So thanks, Trauma Healing Center.
Dissociation is a common response to trauma. Just as God designed dissociation to be a response to trauma, He also has a design for healing. Unfortunately, dissociation is under-recognized in the healing communities due to a lack of trauma training and education. According to research, trauma training is rarely implemented into the core curriculum of graduate training in psychology and other related fields. This lack of trauma training means that many mental health professionals are not skilled in working with traumatized individuals. This means they often don't get enough training on dissociative disorders caused by trauma. Because of this, they might not even think about the possibility of a dissociative disorder when assessing mental health. This means that they might not ask the right questions about your symptoms. People who have seen multiple counselors, tried different programs, and have been on medication without success feel stuck in their healing journey. It is estimated that 75% of those who feel stuck in their healing are dealing with an undiagnosed dissociative disorder. We are here to change that. Trauma expert Dr. Ruth Basinski believes that when trauma training is incorporated into the helping professions, it will transform individuals, their families, and their communities. We agree, and we are working to make that happen. As we educate community caregivers across the city in dissociation and trauma-informed care, the 75% who are stuck and in despair will find hope and healing. Families will be transformed, and Kansas City will have healthy and vibrant communities throughout. As that happens, there will be fewer wait lists for services, hospital beds will be open and available, the foster care system will no longer be overwhelmed, and our schools, churches, and nonprofits will be healthier and stronger than ever. It all starts with training, followed by cohorts, professional consultations, and support for pastors, counselors, first responders, and others who are working with trauma and dissociation. Your prayers and support are vital to the ongoing work of the Trauma Healing Center. As we support one another, this change will happen in our community, and we will see Isaiah 61 come alive for each hurting and wounded person.
There's this principle in the polyvagal theory that says state before story. So the state of our nervous system will inform the story we tell. And I think every one of us has had that experience where you've had a day, bad things have happened, you can feel in your body, like I'm holding all that tension. Everything just feels doom and gloom. Like the stories I'm telling are just bad stories. Like this is going to have a bad ending, right? And then you go to bed and you get a good night's sleep and you wake up the next day and you're like, everything's fine, right? My nervous system is now reset. I'm back into my optimal functioning zone and I'm ready to attack my day. And suddenly everything just doesn't feel so scary, right? The stories I'm telling now are one of hope, one of good things are going to happen. So that's that principle of state before story. Capacity they grow, their ability to bounce back gets quicker and quicker and quicker. And it can be like 30 seconds. Like something can happen. It can like, whoa, that was really hard. But then you have the skills to bounce back and okay, I can regulate. Okay, I feel like myself. Okay, we can go, right? So that's the goal. This is to just build more bounce. So when we're in the green, we feel like ourselves, we're acting like ourselves. We can handle stress, right? We got our get up and go. We can punch the gas, get to work, get to school, do the things I need to do. But then I come home and I rest and I digest. I even take breaks throughout the day where I can rest and digest. The conflict is so intolerable, I feel like I might die. So I think that's also important to understand that in their nervous system, this could kill me, right? That's the level of resistance. So when you get resistance with someone you're working with, that's why. Because their system is going, what's on the other side of this wall could kill me. Back off. And as a person working with that person, I want to respect that. And so I do. I say, oh my gosh, I have so much respect for those protective parts. Melissa's going to talk a lot about this tomorrow. I'm not going to barrel through that wall. I'm going to let this unfold nice and slow where the client has agency and feels like they are the ones deciding when I'm ready. And the more resource they get, the more ready they get. So that's why this is all about resourcing, internal, external resources.
of that to say, God is amazing. Like, God designed all of that. Is not a malfunction. That is a design by God, our Creator, to manage overwhelming trauma as a child. Think of the degree and the extent that He went to create this for a child, for any child who needs it, is amazing. It's amazing. Kind of moving, I gave you the framework for dissociation, kind of your foundation for it this morning. And now we're kind of moving into working with the different parts. And that is on page 17. A strength-based approach, so that is opposite from a pathology approach, is a strength-based approach. That promotes that anyone can be healthy. It's our natural internal design is to be healthy. God designed us that way, and so we can bounce back to that. That's a neuroplasticity in the brain. This whole system happens in the brain, and so that helps to heal as we go. It assumes that we each have strengths and abilities that we can draw from. One of the activities with some of my fun stuff back here that we're going to do after lunch is about finding the strengths and the positive qualities of every single part of the system. Every single part has value. The strength-based approach acknowledges that healing is a lifelong process. This is very important. I'll come back to you. Roadblocks are part of the process. Okay, I'm going to get on just a tiny soapbox here, and then I'll go to the next point. All right, we tend to see resistance, financial obstacles, attitudes, rebel parts, high risk part. We tend to view these things as obstacles to a person's healing. Like if we could just, they're stuck again. To me, that just means this is the next part of the process. This is not a barrier. This is where we should be. This is the next part of the process. And if you relax instead of trying to get over something and just be in it for a minute, you may actually find that breakthrough that we're not supposed to manufacture is hiding right there in that zone of just being present and just being in.
We specialize in assisting ministries, nonprofits, and other organizations heal and grow after an internal crisis. Unexpected events happen every day. When these events take place within a ministry or organization, the leaders of these communities are faced with emotional, mental health, and spiritual needs for themselves and for the people they serve. An unexpected illness or death of a leader, an organizational or ministry split, or even an act of violence against or within the community can send ripples of shock and trauma throughout the members of that community. We are here to help. As experts in trauma care and crisis intervention, we can help the leaders of the ministry or organization prioritize care for their staff, volunteers, and the people they serve. We have been involved with several organizations who have experienced great loss and pain within their community. It has been a privilege to walk alongside them as they heal and grow. Leadership of these organizations have been able to rely on us to help them make a plan to debrief their community on the events, provide individual trauma-informed care, and facilitate group meetings to coach their community through the healing process. These services give the leadership, staff, and the people they serve an opportunity to process the events impacting their community and to find a way to heal and move forward.
Dear Trauma Healing Center of Kansas City, thank you so very much for guiding our organization through recent tragic events that affected so many. Your one-on-one therapy, group debrief, and what to expect sessions were all invaluable in helping me lead my team of 500 with a range of needs through a post-traumatic healing process. Your availability and patience with our whole team was phenomenal. Because of you, we all feel empowered and hopeful about how to support our teammates and ourselves as we move forward. Your work has had an enormous positive impact on our work community as well as the community we serve. Keep it up.
In 2024, we have big plans for our community. We will continue to have regular monthly collaboration meetings with organizations in our area and across the nation. We will hold community support groups for support and education for those in need of care. Professional trainings are scheduled throughout the year with a variety of organizations. And we offer regular consultations for professionals working with the community. Our ongoing services will be offered as needed. We also have several things planned as our organization develops, including acquiring a new training space, launching a blog and counselor database, and recruiting volunteer leaders to help our volunteers build a stronger and more connected team. 2024 will be full of services to meet the needs of our community and beyond, free of charge. Offering these services has the power to completely transform our communities. When you support the Trauma Healing Center or other nonprofits contributing to the community, you are supporting change that will heal our communities. Thank you to each person and organization who made 2023 possible for the Trauma Healing Center. Your financial gifts, volunteer hours, and especially your prayers are transforming our communities by bringing healing, growth, and the love of Jesus Christ to all we encounter. Keep doing the work. You are each a blessing.